So yeah, like I said, I thought it was just going to be the easy track out there, and it was definitely a lot of hard work. You know, I actually ended up living with my parents for about almost 2 years. Like I said, living in the middle of nowhere, Laurel, Montana, learning every single day about you know, personal development, and kept growing, you know, and you know, that was a huge sacrifice. A lot of times I thought it would have been a lot easier just to give up. I thought of it so many times, you know, how much I just miss California and just wanted to skate and just go party with my friends, you know, and you know, of course, was nothing like that out there. Couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. So it was about almost 2 years, and we ended up getting involved with a network marketing company called Gano Excel, and things really just started to fly at that point. The company was based out of Southern California, and I believe everything happens for a reason. You know, you talk about law of attraction, or, you know, really willing something. You know, here I am just you know, praying and hoping that I could get successful so I can come back to California, and it so happens the company we ended up working for was in California. So you know, and I think you know, I'm so blessed that happened, because if we would have got involved with that company when I first went out to Montana, the first couple years, I would have nowhere had near success that I had now. People don't hear, you know, that part of the story of somebody's success. You know, if you look at anybody's success story, there's always a period of trial and tribulations and sacrifices and the tough times. And I know if I would have Gano Excel in the first 2 years, I would have blew it. I wouldn't have the skill set. I wouldn't have known what to do. I would have, you know, everything would have crumbled, I believe. And it happened so quick. It just seemed like overnight, all of a sudden, I went from, you know, living with my parents, so broke I couldn't pay attention, to we built a group of 600 people in 60 days. In a matter of, we went out there, started January 5th of '09. And by my birthday, April, I was making about $2,000 to $2,500 a week, and that was all residual. And man, it was crazy. I even lost it. You know, you always gotta consistently always grow as a person. And you know, one of my favorite quotes is by Les Brown. You know, he says that everything on this earth was put to grow, from humans to dogs to plants, and you know, the second that you feel frustrated in life, or angry, or upset, depressed, is when you stop growing. So you know, all of a sudden here I am, and you know, high school dropout, went from living with my parents to making $3,000 a week residual. I lost it. I bought my dream car. I got a nice place, and man, probably spent about 6-7 months just partying. You know, I remember specifically April 6th was my birthday, and I decided, I just bought my dream car, a BMW M3 that I've wanted for years to come, and went to Vegas, partied for a week for my birthday, and I came back, and there was a $2,500 check waiting for me, and that's when I just lost it, you know. And you know, like I said, the only reason I'm bringing that up is you always got to consistently grow and put your goals farther out than you can achieve. You know, once you achieve goals, great, you made it. What's the next step? You know, one of probably the hardest part about that is when I came back and decided to go to work. You know, of course, now my father was just on top of the hill in a mansion, you know, and you know, now he's like, okay, well, now you're the one that's got to do the public speaking, and you're the one that's going to step up. If you want to go to the next level, you got to continue to step up your game. And man, I remember the first time I had to do public speaking. I think there was about 250 people in the room, and you know, I knew the knowledge, I knew the information, I knew what to say, and I hid in the corporate bathroom because I didn't want anybody to find me. I actually threw up. I remember I'd be looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, all right, you got this. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make it happen. I'd walk into the big room and be like, no. And just like walk right back out, man. I was actually so afraid that there was the main area where all the people gathered, and then there was a corporate where you needed a key to get in. And there was another guy there that used to do presentations, and I figured that if I hid in the bathroom long enough, nobody would find me, and he would just do the meeting. And you know, I'm looking down at the clock, and it's 5 after. You know, 5 after 7 when we're supposed to start the meeting. I'm like, yes, they didn't find me. You know, somebody else is going to cover for me, and all of a sudden I hear knock on the door. I'm like, no, I got to do this. I was freaking out, man. I even grabbed him and I said, man, I know this sounds funny, but can you pray for me? I just threw up. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I don't think I can do this. And he goes, you can do it. Just do it. So, you know, the only reason why I say that is just it's so funny because, you know, wanting to do that my whole life. And, you know, that was one of my goals since I was in first grade. You know, I drew the picture that I wanted to be on stage with my father doing speaking. And, you know, here I am in a bathroom throwing up because I couldn't even get the stage in front of like 200 people, you know. So, yeah, that was funny. And when I decided to really step up and master that craft of you know, really being able to speak to people and inspire people is really when my career, you know, took off to the next level. And from there, it's just been a whirlwind once again. And probably the next, you know, really pivotal point in my life was they decided that we just recently had an event, and they wanted me to speak. And I think at this event there was about 2,000 people. To date it was, well, at that time it was the largest crowd I ever spoke in front of. And, you know, I have a saying that, you know, my dad looked at me and he knew how scared I get sometimes of public speaking. He goes, are you afraid? And I said, I'm no longer afraid. I was born for this. So yeah, so it was, up until that point, nobody really seen me speak too much because, you know, still kind of low on the totem pole as far as success in the company. And if anybody else was there, they were doing the speaking, not me. So a lot of people actually doubted it, you know, and one of my really good friends and close mentor, Mike Miramoto, he works for the company. I said, nah, man, you got to give Junior a shot. You got to give him a shot. And I went up there and, man, I remember I was just so in the zone, but also so afraid that I had to watch the recording of it because I forgot what I said. I just was, you know, I was very passionate and I knew I would do okay. And because of what I did there, I guess, you know, they had a whole South American tour that they were going on to go through all the countries that we just opened. And because of that, the owner of the company said, man, he goes, that young kid knows how to sell the dream of our company. He's really passionate. I want him to come on this tour. Well, you know, lo and behold, I was just excited. I thought I was going on a vacation. Like, sweet, I get to go to Peru, Colombia, Mexico. All right, awesome, I'm in for this. And our first stop was Peru. And we're at this huge event. There was, geez, I think there's probably 9,000, 10,000 people there. And the training, we're just sitting in the training, everything's going great. It was an awesome event. And at lunchtime, I had the CEO of that country come up to me. And he said, so you guys are clear what you're talking about, right? And I'm going, what? You know, and he goes, yeah, we want you and your father to get up there and just tell your story and where you came from. And but that was by far probably one of the biggest points in my life. Once again, I was sitting there with my father right in the front row in front of like 10,000 people. Thought I was going to throw up. I was freaking out, but got on stage and, you know, I had this whole long thing that I was going to plan out that I was going to say. And my father talked for about 15, 20 minutes and he passed it over to me and said a little bit about my story. And then I said that, you know, I just told everybody to dream big and that I had a dream when I was in first grade to stand up on my, sorry I even get choked up talking about it, but, you know, stand on stage with my father and my dream came true. And, you know, I had a standing ovation and me and my dad just stood up there crying and I couldn't even go forward after that point. So that's a memory that'll be in my heart forever. And, you know, you know, thinking back on it, such a, you know, huge accomplishment to go from, you know, a high school dropout stoner skater, you know, going to jail for, you know, selling weed and drugs to, you know, think about it, what would it be 5 years later, being in a completely different country, standing on stage in front of 10,000 people with my father. I mean, you know, it's one of those things that you just can't explain. And I can tell each and every one of you watching this is that's why, you know, my corporation is chasing dreams, because, you know, once you catch your dream and you set a goal that big and accomplish it, the feeling that you get from that alone is more gratifying than being, you know, getting a check, or more gratifying than people saying you're successful. You know, when you can hit a goal like that, you're unstoppable because you know that the sky's the limit and you can do anything else that your mind really believes that it can. So, you know, since then, I just a big, you know, huge believer of a law of attraction and and being positive and putting out in the universe what you want. I recently just was able to get a brand new place right here on the beach. My dream was always to live on the sand. I just got a brand new car that I remember my mom scolding me. You know, she's very supportive now. I know I keep referring to her in a bad light, but I love her so much. She's done so much for me and supported. But remember the first time I told her how much my car was worth, and she freaked out on me because that's how much her home was worth in North Dakota. So, you know, I just still just looking forward to the future and dreaming big. You know, anything that you know you can set your mind to, it can accomplish. But also know that I still go through the hard times. You still got to reevaluate and focus. You know, I restarted, you know, listening to Science of Getting Rich and really getting motivated again to go to the next level because. You know, my goals now isn't just to get those smaller things. It's to continually touch hundreds of thousands of people out there.